This video is sponsored by Incogn. KPop Demon Hunters is a fantastic new film by Sony, directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Applehans. It is vibrantly animated, packed with banger musical numbers, hilariously timed comedy, and surprisingly, a moving exploration into insecurity, depression, identity, and even taking of one's life.
Do what you should have done a long time ago.
Oh, and also this. Yeah, that's going to be about right, isn't it? KPop Demon Hunters when I'm watching it alone, and KPop Demon Hunters when Dad steps in. Honestly though, upon first glance, I wasn't even planning on looking at this, let alone reviewing it. The plot of an all-girl K-pop band having to use their singing energy to keep demons at bay, and the Demon King forming his own male K-pop band to rival them? Yeah, that sounded quite shit. And as an adult male who really isn't into his K-pop, I just figured that I wasn't going to be the target demographic. But it was getting recommended to me in the comments, so I reluctantly decided to check it out. And wow, this turned out to be my best viewing surprise since Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Moral of the story? Don't judge a film by its trailer. And here's another good moral: internet privacy. More than ever, the internet is filled with shady companies and individuals who are trying to access your personal data. I personally experienced a lot of this with spam emails, scam callers, and even unwanted posts to my address. That's why it's important to use a service such as Incogn. Incogn is a personal data removal service which automatically removes personal information related to you from public websites and private databases. It does so by regularly sending requests to data brokers on your behalf because, interestingly enough, records tend to reappear even once they've been removed. When available, Incogn will also ask data brokers to add your profile to their suppression lists to make sure that your name is never listed again. This is all included in their unlimited and family unlimited plans, not only allowing protection to your family, who may be more susceptible to this, Dad, but also giving you an extra layer of protection because if you share a mailbox, address, or home phone number, you can still be receiving their spam. Head over to incogn.com/reviews and use code REVIEWS to get an exclusive offer of 60% off. That's incogn.com/reviews and using the code REVIEWS. Thank you Incogn for sponsoring this video. Now back to the review. So we've got our three leads, Rumi, Mira and Zoe, who are members of the K-pop group Huntrix. But this isn't your average band, as they also dedicate themselves to hunting and slaying demons, using their singing to maintain the barrier between our world and the demon realm. Meanwhile, the Demon King is getting desperate, with the whole golden horn moon approaching, something that if sung by the girls will seal the demons away forever. He takes a wild suggestion from a demon boy named Jinu to create an all-male K-pop rival group to sabotage the girls, prevent the golden hormone from happening, and steal human souls in the process. This film feels like an interesting mix of Totally Spies, the Powerpuff Girls, and Hi Hi Puffy Ami Uni. Anyone else remember that show? Oh, no? Okay. And speaking of the Powerpuff Girls, is this hoodie that a fan is wearing a reference to the Powerpuff Girls, or am I just overthinking that? The plot of this film is nothing special. Within the first 15 minutes, you know exactly where the story is going. Ooh, look, it's a liar reveal plot. Never seen one of those before. And oh wow, a character was keeping a secret that they were ashamed of, but now they're owning it and have become a stronger person as a result? So original. But you know what? That doesn't really matter. Because even though the plot is cliche, everything along the way is just so entertaining to watch. The humour in this film is absolutely on point. There is so much visual comedy going on, and thanks to the animation, the timing is absolutely perfect. Not every joke will land, mind you, but the jokes are delivered at such a fast pace that it doesn't really matter if one gag out of 5 doesn't work. Yeah, it can sometimes be a little cringy and corny in places, such as the girls thirsting over the abs, the over-the-top K-pop fandom tropes, but I feel that the film is also very aware of these tropes and knows exactly what it's doing with them. And when the film does start to slow down and get more serious, my god does it get serious. And I absolutely love the theme about dealing with shame and insecurity, which is something that we can all relate to in our day-to-day lives.
Relax, Bobby. It's just social media numbers. Not the end of the world.
Yeah. Please like and subscribe. The characters in this film are done exceptionally well, especially the main trio. These are female protagonists done right. As all too often, modern female leads are either squeaky clean role models or impossibly flawless superwomen that don't need to overcome any real challenges. This film gets it right. They are flawed, they make mistakes, they have chinks in their armour, but they're also true to themselves, they have great chemistry with each other, and they are written hilariously. But most importantly, they feel like real people. And this goes for the male characters as well. Chinu has that right balance of being a morally conflicted antagonist, douchey, but also human. Bobby, the band manager, they could have easily made him a Mr. Krabs style money-hungry douche. But he is honestly the most wholesome character ever. Like, everyone in their life deserves to have a Bobby.
You deserve it.
Me? Oh, no, I couldn't possibly. Just kidding, road me. I'm a 34 short, please. See you in a couple weeks, girls.
Bye, Bobby.
The Crow and Derpy Tiger are hilarious. They don't say anything on screen, but their actions and facial expressions carry any scene that they're in.
Why does the bird wear a tiny hat?
I made it for the tiger, but the bird keeps taking it.
The art style of this film is bright, colourful, and expressive, and has a nice contrast between a more subdued 3D art style, whilst then switching up to a more zany cartoon 2D anime feel. And these switches in styles are handled perfectly. Not overly done, or made to overstay their welcome, they're used when the scene demands it. The film also uses that stylized low frame rate look, which remind me of the action sequences we saw in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, where you could practically pause at any moment in the film and get a beautiful still frame, very much the same goes for this film in its more exaggerated moments. And the animation itself is also on top form. From the comedic timings to the incredible action scenes, they're fast-paced, well choreographed, using creative camera angles, and at times, even synchronized with the music being sung. Pure perfection. And yeah, as I said, I'll admit that I'm not the biggest fan of K-pop. Not that I hold any hatred to it or anything, it's just never really been my thing. But my god, some of the tracks used in this film are absolute bangers. And I'm gonna straight up admit, one of them has actually gone onto my personal music playlist.
It is annoyingly catchy though.
I'll give you a few seconds to quickly guess which one. Yeah, it's what it sounds like. Alright, so now I'm going to start talking about some stuff that falls into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to know the ending, here's your warning. Okay, so a lot of this section is going to be issues that I had with the plot, but I do want to get one positive aspect out that I really liked. The decision to have Xinu actually die at the end was a bold choice, and I'm glad they committed to it and didn't reverse it with some sort of plot armor bullshit. It gave real weight to his sacrifice and felt like a good end for the character. Now to look at some of the issues I did have. There seems to be a whole lot of backstory that didn't really get explored, such as Rumi's dad being a demon. Like, who was he? Where is he now? And why did Rumi's mum fall in love with him? The scene where Rumi sings with Xinu also felt kind of forced. It would have worked better if she'd been singing to herself and then realised he was there doing it at the same time. They also used different voice actors for the singing parts, which isn't actually uncommon in animation, and for the most part in here it doesn't feel too jarring, but for this song, it's quite noticeable.
Somehow, my voice is healed.
I try to hide, but something broke.
The whole subplot of Rumi's voice breaking, which was a major thread throughout the film, just kinda gets resolved. No payoff, no emotional climax.
Somehow, my voice is healed.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
I was so sure it would all come to a head during the final song contest. She's about to sing the crucial high note in the final verse of their song, when suddenly her voice cracks again, causes an imbalance which shuts down the contest, and then her demon side is revealed to everyone. That would have made for a powerful moment, but no. She sings the song just fine, and it's the demons who end up sabotaging the contest. Why? Is it meant to be that she's feeling a bit better because she agreed with Xinu about having him throw the contest? Why would that fix her voice? Her voice was having issues before the demon band were even a thing. I thought her voice was more due to the insecurities building inside of her. Didn't the quackpot doctor suggest that the reason for her voice breaking was because there was a split between her and her friends?
To treat the part, we must understand the whole.
Isn't that still the case because she hasn't confessed to them yet? I also think Mira and Chloe turning on Rumi was way too jarring. These are her long-time friends who've been nothing but loving and supportive throughout the entire film, so having them suddenly drawing weapons on her just felt a little off. And the whole reason Rumi is hiding her scars is because her stepmom told her that her friends wouldn't accept her. And then they actually don't, so it kind of proves her point.
Maybe they'll understand.
No, Rumi.
It should have been Rumi who freaks out and preemptively runs away before the other two had a chance to say anything. I also wish the film followed on its setup about the demons. There is this theme they toy with that demons are not potentially evil by nature, but rather victims of shame and manipulation from the Demon King.
That's all demons do. Feel our shame, our misery. It's how Gima controls us.
Throughout the film, there seems to be moments where the demons aren't all that bad, and Rumi even has a moment where she's trying to reason with one.
Are you a prisoner too? Is Kima making you do this?
I thought this was going to have a much bigger payoff at the end, but it doesn't. Instead, they're all just sealed away into the demon realm. Like, what if there are others like Juno down there? That doesn't seem very fair. Wouldn't it have been nicer to have a song which, instead of dividing the two worlds, actually brought them together? You know, uniting people? Like the whole point of your music is meant to be? I know it feels like I'm nitpicking a lot, but I just feel the script could have benefited from going through one more draft. Overall though, despite my issues with the plot, I still thoroughly enjoyed this film. It is such a fun, vibrant breath of fresh air. I love the message about fighting the voices in your head that tell you that you're not enough, as I think this is something that everyone can relate to. You are flawed, and that's okay. And who knows, maybe that's what the writers did for this film. Maybe it's a little bit flawed on purpose. Perhaps a reflection of its own message that imperfection doesn't mean failure, that there's still beauty and strength in the broken, and that we need to accept that in this film as a test for being able to accept it in ourselves. Fuck man, it's like 4 in the morning. I need to go to bed.